Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well and safe at home. So today I'm going to be reading Beware of the Storybook Wolves. So I don't really know what this is about, but I'm really excited to find out. So if you have it at home, go and grab it. If not, don't worry, let's read this. Beware of the Storybook Wolves by Lauren Child. Every night, Herb's mother would read him a bedtime story. Sometimes it was about a big wolf who terrified little girls and their grandmothers with his chilling growl and his big yellow teeth. You could tell from the pictures that the toothpaste had never been on his shopping list. The story got very nasty in the middle and everybody nearly came to a sticky end. But by the last page, it all turned out well and went happily ever after. It was one of Herb's favourite. He particularly liked the back cover that had a picture of a small wolf with a patch over one eye and the words, For a real thrill, try reading the story of the little fierce wolf and the 3 pink piglets. It will scare your socks off. Whenever his mother finished this bedtime story, Herb would say, "Don't forget to take that book with you." And his mother would ask, "Why?" "Because there's a wolf in it, of course," Herb would say. Herb's mother would smile to herself because she knew the storybook wolves are not at all dangerous. One night, just as they were finishing the wolf story, the telephone rang. In her hurry, Herb's mother forgot all about taking the book with her. Herb didn't realise at first, but as he was snoozing off, he thought he heard a deep rumbling sound coming from his bedside table. It was like the rumbling of a very hungry tummy, or perhaps even 2 hungry tummies. Then he began to smell a not very nice smell, a sort of bad breath type of smell. Herb got a funny feeling that 2 or maybe even 3 eyes were watching him. Unwisely, he switched on the light. And there, standing in front of him, was the big storybook wolf, and next to him was the smaller wolf with a patch over his eyes. Herb recognised him as the back cover wolf. Big Wolf said in a low, greedy voice. "I thought I could smell something tasty. I'm going to gobble you up, little boy." And he started to lick his chops. "Ooh, can I have a little pink toes? They look like piglets," said the little wolf. And he tried to lick his chops, but he wasn't very good at it and just ended up dribbling on the carpet. "I wouldn't eat me yet," stammered Herb, desperately trying to think of a plan to distract the wolves from wolfing him. "Why not?" said the big wolf, giving him a sideways stare. "Yes, why not?" said Little Wolf, trying to give him a sideways stare. Because little boys are for pudding. You have to start with the starters, of course." "I didn't know that," said Big Wolf. "Really?" said Herb, feeling a bit pleased with his own craftiness. "I thought everybody knew that." "Oh, I knew that," said Little Wolf. "No, you didn't," said Big Wolf, slightly less fierce than before. "Yes, I certainly did," said Little Wolf, putting himself up. "Well, if you're so clever, then what's for starters?" triumphed Big Wolf. You could tell Little Wolf hadn't even heard of starters, but not wishing to sound stupid, he shouted, "Jelly is for starters, everybody knows that." Then Big Wolf and Little Wolf looked at Herb and said, "Where is the jelly?" "Jelly, jelly, where is the jelly?" Herb's mind was whirling like a frantic thing. Then he caught sight of his book of fairy tales. He'd been looking at it last night, and it was lying open on the page where the dozy princess falls asleep at her own birthday party. No one at the table would notice if he borrowed a jelly, They were all snoozing, tired of waiting for the Princess Beautiful to wake up. Herb was so busy struggling to slide the jelly off the page, he didn't even notice the wicked fairy wide awake and hiding under the table. She had been listening to every word. This was bad luck for her, because the wicked fairy hated little boys only slightly less than she hated little girls, and it made her very nervous. She'd seen what those little brats Hansel and Gretel had done to her poor defenceless witch. Not only did they nibble her cottage half to pieces, but then they went and shoved her in the own oven. Children put her in very bad mood indeed. "Oh, you dozy doormats, don't you know anything?" snarled the fairy. "Your wolf half-wits give wickedness and a bad name. He's tricked you, you twerps. Little boys are starters. Jelly is pudding." And with that wicked fairy jumped back into the book and snapped it shut. First the wolves went almost purple in the cheeks with embarrassment. Then their eyes went all mean and squinty. Herb could tell things had taken a turn for the really quite bad. So he snatched up a fairy tale book, found the page with the fairy godmother, and shook it until she tumbled out of the book and onto the floor. She was a bit cross actually, because her dress got crumpled and she nearly twisted her ankle. "Well," she said, "I've got a good mind to turn you into a caterpillar, little boy." No, said Herb. "Don't turn me into a caterpillar. It's those two who need to be caterpillars." "Oh no, not you again," said the godmother, spying the two alarmed wolves. "Always making trouble, blowing people's houses down and gobbling them up without so much as a do you mind?" As she said this, she accidentally waved her wand at the little wolf, and the smoke went poof, just like in the fairy tales, and suddenly there was a little wolf standing in the ball gown. Oh dear, this will never do," said the fairy godmother, shaking her head. "That dress was meant for Cinderella. You shook me out of the book just as I was about to send her to the ball. Awfully nice dress, though. I had an eye on for fashion, as you can probably tell, but not as suitable for a wolf." The little wolf took one look in the mirror and was so pleased with his new look that he jumped into the fairy tale book and went to the ball himself, which of course left Cinderella having a night in cleaning the kitchen after all. "Oh well, that's that then," sighed the fairy godmother. "I'm not going to be popular at the place now. I don't know what that king and queen she's going to do. She sees a wolf turn up in the ball to turn with their son. I imagine they'll be very grumpy about it. I do hope he doesn't start snacking on the guests." The fairy godmother was so engrossed with her own problems that she hadn't noticed the big wolf was poised ready to swallow Herb in one gulp. "Help!" screeched Herb. Quick thing, the fairy godmother wished her wand, and as Big Wolf was just a tiny caterpillar. "Oh, I do like caterpillars," said the fairy godmother, popping it back to the wolf's story. "Then they're so wonderful, never bothering me for things, not like frogs. Always thinking they are princesses. What more? I really have enough of being squashed inside a book, doing favours for spoiled princesses. I'm going to take a holiday somewhere far away from royalty." And in a sudden twinkle of the sequins, she disappeared. Before Herb got back into bed, he piled up his books and then put the heaviest thing he could find on top of them, just in case anyone else was tempted to get out of his story. The funny thing was, the next time Herb's mother came to read the story, there was no wolf to be seen, just a tiny caterpillar, trying with all his might to terrify the girl in a red coat. Well, how interesting was that? What a funny book. I did enjoy that. Tomorrow we're going to be reading Shaggy Dog and the Terrible Itch. What is this about? Let's find out when we read this tomorrow. Anyway, bye for now.